My girlfriend betrayed me with her boss for 3 years. Then my friends took her side and left me all alone. Named Zeke, I'm 29, and up until like 4 weeks ago, I thought I had it all figured out. Nothing crazy, just a stable gig in software dev, decent paycheck, no yacht money, but enough to keep the lights on and fuel my soccer obsession. I had a fiancé I was dead sure I'd marry, and season tickets to my ride or die team. It felt solid, like real life kinda good. Soccer's been my lifeline since I was like 6. Not even kidding, my apartment looks like a damn soccer shrine exploded in it. Scarves on the walls, framed autographs, overpriced figurines of players I'll never meet, and yeah, I turned a rusted-out stadium seat into my actual coffee table. Laugh all you want, I've heard every man-child joke in the book. So 3 years ago, I meet this girl. Let's call her Jess. It was at this divey sports bar in Chicago during the Liverpool versus Man United match, one of the biggest games of the season. I clocked her the second she walked in. Blonde, Liverpool jersey, and get this, she actually knew what the hell was going on, like yelling at the ref, breaking down formations. Swear to God, it was like she walked out of my dreams and into kickoff. Bro, Jess could name Liverpool's full starting lineup in formation, not just names, I mean like tactical positions. I fell for her faster than a Salah breakaway. We vibed instantly. Swapped numbers, started dating, boom, game on. Every match day, she was glued to my side, screaming at the ref, throwing shade at rival fans. Total ride or die, or so I thought. Our 1-year anniversary? She dropped a signed Mbappe jersey in my lap like it was nothing. I'm not ashamed to admit it, I legit teared up. That thing had to cost stupid money. A year and a half in, I popped the question. She said yes. Life felt unreal. We turned our apartment into a straight-up soccer shrine. Game schedules on the fridge, scarves strung up like Christmas lights, framed tickets from away days we flew to together. Sometimes she'd roll her eyes when I ranted about VAR for an hour or got lost in some dumb transfer conspiracy. But I figured, hey, nobody's partner is 100% into your weird obsessions. That's just normal, right? Now let's talk about her world for a sec. Jess worked at this swanky-ass marketing firm in downtown Denver. Big money, fast promotions. Her boss? Derek. Or, as I like to call him, Discount Clooney. Silver hair, designer everything, always pulling up to events in a goddamn Maserati. Like, relax, bro, we get it. At company parties, he'd glide in like some corporate James Bond, and Jess would turn into this overly professional, giggly version of herself. You know the type, laughing too hard at his bad jokes, fixing her posture, constantly checking if he was around. I said something once, just casual. Yo, you talk to that guy a lot? She hit me with, it's just networking, babe. And, like the walking red flag magnet I apparently am, I bought it. Then, last month, she tells me she's flying out for a business trip to Dubai. Business class flights, spa-level hotel, infinity pools and sand dunes and whatever else Instagram influencers drool over. Her stories? Non-stop. Poolside meetings, sunset camel rides, hashtags like team building and hashtag desert vibes. Meanwhile, I'm back home, eating microwaved burritos, watching the Champions League solo, and texting her all hyped about some insane goals she's missing. At first, she texted back, wish you were here, miss you. By day 4, just, cool, nice. And then, silence. Some messages left on read. When she got back from Dubai, something was off. The Liverpool jersey she always wore to bed vanished. Game nights we used to plan weeks in advance suddenly conflicted with work. I brought up having a few friends over for the big rivalry match. Figured we'd throw down some wings and beers. She looked at me like I'd just asked to host a cockroach circus in our apartment. Then came the night everything cracked wide open. We were at this overpriced sushi spot in downtown Denver. Her pick. I was actually kinda hyped because they had TVs and the US was playing in a World Cup qualifier. As the hostess led us toward a table with a screen view, Jess suddenly stopped. "Can we sit somewhere else?" she asked, pointing toward the back. "I can't do another night of soccer." I damn near choked. "Another night?" I asked. "You love soccer. You've always loved soccer." The look she gave me, I swear it was like watching someone peel off their face, like the real version of her had been hiding underneath this whole time. "Zeke," she said, cold as hell, "I've literally never cared about soccer. Not once." I sat there frozen, chopsticks halfway to my mouth, my brain doing cartwheels trying to process what I just heard. The waiter legit backed away from our table like he didn't want to catch whatever train wreck this was turning into. Can't blame him. "What are you talking about?" I said, my voice cracking. "The jersey you wore the night we met? All those stats you rattled off? The games we watched?" She cut me off with a sigh like she was explaining long division to a kindergartner. I faked it, Zeke. All of it. For 3 years. That hit me like a sucker punch. 3 years. 3 entire years. "But why?" I whispered. She took a sip of her sake like she wasn't casually ripping my soul out. "Will coached me," she said. "She thought you were hot, but knew you only dated soccer chicks, so she gave me the crash course. Names, rules, just enough to fake it." Will, her best friend. The same Will who helped plan our engagement party. The same Will who used to come over and scream at refs with us. Another faker. I was shaking. "So, everything? That was all just—" Jess rolled her eyes. "I thought you'd grow out of it. Okay, most guys do. Cars, guitars, soccer. You get obsessed, then you move on." That one hurt. And then she landed the combo punch. "You want to know what really hit me in Dubai?" she said, spinning her chopsticks like this was casual conversation. "I realized life's too short to keep pretending. I want a man who wants more than watching sweaty guys kick a ball around." I was stunned, like brain short-circuited. "And what exactly does more look like to you?" I asked, barely keeping my voice steady. She didn't miss a beat. Career growth, financial stability, a place that doesn't look like a teenage boy's bedroom. Boom, double tap to the chest. I sat there, frozen, while the crowd on the TV behind me erupted. A goal, cheers, pure chaos. The match I'd been hyped for? Yeah, I was missing it while my entire relationship burned to the ground. Fitting. I finally asked, voice barely holding it together, "Is there someone else?" She didn't answer. Didn't need to. Her silence hit harder than a sucker punch. "It's Derek, isn't it?" I said. She smiled. Not guilty. Relieved. "He gets me," she said, like she was finally free. "He's got ambition, drive, a penthouse, a yacht." I stared at her. Just stared. Couldn't believe I was even hearing this. "And a wife," I added. She rolled her eyes like I'd mentioned something mildly annoying. They're basically separated. And anyway, he says I inspire him. Says I've got untapped potential he wants to develop. Oh, I bet he wants to develop something. Didn't say it. Should've. Instead, I sat there like a clown, still trying to make sense of how the hell this was my life. "So, all this time," I said, slow and cold, "you were just, what, waiting? Tolerating me till something shinier came along?" "Don't be dramatic, Zeke. We had fun, but I'm 27. It's time to level up." Level up? Like I was some starter pack boyfriend, a warm-up round before the real game. "Anything else you've been lying about?" I asked, voice flat. She actually paused to think, like she had to mentally scroll through the list. "Well, I never liked your mom," she said, like she was doing me a favor. "And that ER visit last year, when you dislocated your shoulder playing soccer? I wasn't stuck in traffic. I was out having drinks with Derek. That one landed hard. I remember lying in a hospital bed, alone, doped up on painkillers, wondering why she wasn't there. Turns out she was too busy giggling over cocktails with her boss. I didn't say a word, just glared. "Zeke, this is for the best," she said, all calm and composed. "You'll find some soccer-obsessed girl who actually appreciates you, and I can be with someone who matches my ambition." And that's when it clicked, like a final puzzle piece sliding into place. "That's why you kept pushing me to stay at my job, huh? That's why you always shot down every damn time I talked about applying for better jobs, huh?" I was piecing it together, and man, it was ugly. You wanted me stuck, same paycheck, same dead-end role, so you could climb and not feel bad about what you were doing. She didn't even deny it, didn't flinch. She just gave this little shrug and said, "You were comfortable. Not everyone's built to chase promotions." The audacity. She had the nerve to gaslight me like I was some lazy slob when she'd been actively sabotaging my growth just to keep me easy to outgrow. I pushed my chair back and tossed a few bills on the table, enough to cover my half. I wasn't about to bankroll her deluxe sashimi confession special. "I think we're done here." She blinked. "Don't be like that," she said, suddenly real concerned about how this looked. "We can be adults about it." "Adults?" I laughed, cold. "You lied to me for 3 years, cheated, and apparently tanked my career while you shacked up with your married boss. Which part of that screams adult to you?" A couple nearby had gone quiet. People were definitely tuning in now. She glanced around, lowering her voice. "You're making a scene." I stood up. "You've been starring in a one-woman drama for 3 years. I'm just the poor bastard in the audience." She tried calling my name as I walked away. I didn't turn around. By the time I got home, my phone was blowing up. Mutual friends, suddenly all worried about how I was handling the news. News, like this was some tragic headline and not my actual life detonating. I stepped into our apartment, half empty. She'd already grabbed a bunch of her stuff. There was a note on the fridge, scribbled in that same fake friendly tone she used with waiters. "I'll come back for the rest soon. I hope we can still be friends." Friends. The level of delusion. But what really hit me? She took the signed Mbappe jersey, the one that cost me 3 months' rent, the one I thought she gave me because she understood me. Turns out she didn't care about it, or me, just saw the price tag. I collapsed onto the couch, turned on the game highlights from earlier, and I couldn't remember a single damn play. My head was stuck rewinding 3 years of my life, trying to find all the signs I should have seen. Took me about 2 days to fully crash. Like reality didn't even slap me, it drop-kicked me in the chest. I'd spent 3 entire years with someone who secretly hated the one thing that lit me up inside, who thought my passion made me immature, who wasn't building a life with me. She was biding her time till a better man rolled through. And now? She was off sipping champagne on Derek's yacht, probably telling him stories about the dumb soccer nerd she strung along for years. Something in me snapped. Not in some unhinged John Wick kind of way, more like a screw this training montage type of shift. Step 1, I tore my apartment apart, cleaned everything, purged all the memories. Gone. Step 2, I hit the gym. Not to get shredded and win her back. Hell no. I just needed somewhere to burn the rage that didn't end with me smashing a TV or getting arrested. First day? Brutal. I hadn't worked out in months. 10 minutes on the treadmill and I was seeing stars. Thought I was gonna throw up. But the pain? Felt good. It was the first time my body hurt more than my brain. Then came the real move. Work. I'd been coasting at my software dev job for way too long. Solid paycheck, chill hours, zero growth. Thing is, I had a better offer from our main competitor. Higher pay, better role, cooler projects I actually gave a damn about. But I'd been dragging my feet because Jess said switching jobs might destabilize our future. Our future. Yeah, that aged well. So, the next morning, I made the call. "Hey Vince," I said, "that opening's still on the table at Nexus Tech?" There was a pause. "Yeah, but I thought you weren't interested." "I changed my mind," I said. "I want it." "What about what you said before, about stability?" "That wasn't me talking," I told him. "That was someone else in my head. I'm done with that." 2 weeks later, I was walking into a brand new life. New company, new energy, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like a background character in someone else's movie. The place actually valued innovation. I wasn't just cleaning up other people's messy code anymore. I was leading my own damn projects. Salary? Up by 30%. Respect? Through the roof. Next came the living situation. Our lease was ending soon anyway, so instead of sticking around in a space haunted by ghost arguments and Lana's passive-aggressive notes about my childish decor, I bounced. Found a high-rise in downtown Minneapolis. Sleek, modern, walking distance to the stadium. Yeah, it cost more. But with my new paycheck, I could swing it easy. Best part? Zero memories of her. No lectures about toning down the soccer obsession. No fake compromise over wall space. This place was mine. Framed vintage kits on display. Spotlit glass cases for my rare collectibles. A 75-inch TV mounted dead center for match days. It was unapologetically me. Then came the signing bonus. When I saw that direct deposit hit, I just stared at my screen like it was a prank. I stashed most of it away. Responsible, grown-up move. And then, just once, I went full revenge fantasy mode. I bought the car I'd been eyeing since college. Matte black Audi RS7. Clean. Aggressive. Not quite Derek's midlife crisis Maserati, but mine didn't need to overcompensate for a failing marriage and a wandering eye. The first time I took it out? Windows down, music up, engine humming like a beast. I caught myself actually smiling. Not fake smiling, not forced, just okay. Not great yet, not healed, but okay. Like maybe my life wasn't a pile of ashes after all. And the wild thing about getting your act together? It stacks. Started sleeping better. Thanks, Jem. More rest meant better focus. Crushed it at work. Work wins built up my confidence. Confidence made me social again. People noticed. It wasn't some Disney-style glow-up. I still had those nights, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., asking myself how I missed all the signs. But day by day, I was climbing. 6 months flew by, and the new version of me was just getting started. I'd already snagged a promotion, team lead now. The new apartment felt like home for the first time in forever. The car? Yeah, it was turning heads wherever I went. I'd even started dating again. Nothing serious, just keeping it chill with women who were honest from the jump. No games, no hidden agendas. I reconnected with my real friends too, the guys from my rec soccer league. Always solid dudes, but I'd ghosted them for years because Lana thought they weren't ambitious enough. Translation, they didn't have rich bosses she could upgrade to. Success spreads quick, especially in this social media era. I wasn't flooding my feed or anything, just dropping the occasional flex. A shot of the city skyline from my balcony, a selfie at the stadium, the upgraded seats my paycheck now bought, and the car, captioned simply, "New Beginnings." Nothing pointed, nothing bitter. Just enough to say, I'm not broken. Then, out of nowhere, a text from Will. "Wow, someone's doing well. Coffee sometime? Would love to catch up." Interesting timing. Very interesting. I'd been ghosting her messages for months since that sushi showdown. She'd sent a dozen texts. "Lana didn't deserve you. I had no idea it went that deep with Derek. You deserve better. All lies. She was the mastermind behind the whole mess, coaching Lana on every move, teaching her how to mess with me from day one. But now that I was up and running again, suddenly Will wanted to reconnect? My first instinct, tell her to shove it. That would have been the healthy move. But something held me back. Call it petty, call it closure. I wasn't expecting much, but yeah, I was curious. So I said fine, let's meet up. More to see what Will was up to than anything else. She picked some cafe right next to the dealership where I'd bought my new ride. Subtle move, Will. I rolled in 15 minutes late on purpose and spotted her right away. Will was always that Instagram model type, all sharp angles and perfect filters. Today, she looked like she'd been getting ready for a damn awards show. Designer clothes, fresh nails and hair, way too much perfume, like she wanted to knock me out just walking in the door. "Zeke, you look amazing," she said, air-kissing both cheeks. "This new gig must be treating you well." I played it cool, downplayed it. "It's all right. How's life? How's Lana?" She flinched, just a little. Interesting. "Oh, she's fine," Will said, smooth. "Things with Derek are progressing." That word progressing had enough baggage to fill a damn book. "Awesome," I lied. "I'm happy for her." Her eyes kept flicking to my wrist, checking the watch. Then my jacket. Designer or not, she was sizing me up. And every now and then, she glanced out the window to where my car was parked. "Seeing anyone?" she asked, leaning forward, cleavage on full display. "A guy like you, bet you've got options now." And just like that, the pieces clicked. Will wasn't here to reminisce or apologize. She was scouting, seeing if I'd become the next shiny prize now that I had cash and status. That told me one thing. Things between Lana and Derek, not as perfect as they seemed. I smiled, took a slow sip of my coffee, and in my head, the game was just getting started. "Actually, Will," I said, "I could use your insight on something." Turns out, Will was a damn goldmine. All it took was a few slick compliments and some casual drops about my investment portfolio, and suddenly she wouldn't shut up. Seriously, couldn't stop talking. It was almost embarrassing how easy it was. Between sips of her third free latte, she leaned in and whispered, "Things aren't great with Lana and Derek." I played the surprised card, but inside, I was high-fiving myself. I'd guessed as much, but hearing it confirmed, chef's kiss. Will scooted closer, so close I could count every eyelash extension. The wife, she won't divorce him. Some prenup that'd leave him broke if she did. So he's just stringing Lana along with empty promises. "Must be tough for her," I said, pulling my best concerned but not too concerned face. Years of screaming at bad soccer refs prepped me well for faking emotion. "She's managing," Will said, flashing this shark-like grin that made me want to back away slowly. "But honestly," she added, "Lana jumped ship too early." I raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "Well, look at you now." She waved vaguely at my new life, the designer watch, the apartment, the car. If Lana had waited a few more months. That's when it hit me. These women weren't just gold diggers. They were terrible investors, selling low, trying to buy high. Will was the scout, hunting targets. Lana was the closer, reeling them in. Together, they cashed in on every sucker Lana fooled with her act. "Until something better came along, of course," I said, swirling my coffee. "And then they just move on to the next sucker." Will's eyes flickered like I'd just handed her a winning lottery ticket. Flattery, catnip for narcissists. "You always seemed like the smarter one between you two," I added. "You saw potential in me before she did, right? You were the one who coached her on soccer just to reel me in." Will actually smiled, a little proud. "I've always been good at spotting opportunities." "Oh, she's fine," Will said, smooth. "Things with Derek are progressing." That word progressing had enough baggage to fill a damn book. "Awesome," I lied. "I'm happy for her." Her eyes kept flicking to my wrist, checking the watch. Then my jacket. Designer or not, she was sizing me up. And every now and then, she glanced out the window to where my car was parked. "Seeing anyone?" she asked, leaning forward, cleavage on full display. "A guy like you, bet you've got options now." And just like that, the pieces clicked. Will wasn't here to reminisce or apologize. She was scouting, seeing if I'd become the next shiny prize now that I had cash and status. That told me one thing: things between Lana and Derek, not as perfect as they seemed. I smiled, took a slow sip of my coffee, and in my head, the game was just getting started. "Actually, Will," I said, "I could use your insight on something." Turns out, Will was a damn goldmine. All it took was a few slick compliments and some casual drops about my investment portfolio, and suddenly she wouldn't shut up. Seriously, couldn't stop talking. It was almost embarrassing how easy it was. Between sips of her third free latte, she leaned in and whispered, "Things aren't great with Lana and Derek." I played the surprised card, but inside, I was high-fiving myself. I'd guessed as much, but hearing it confirmed, chef's kiss. She once had to hide in a closet for 2 hours. And Derek? He'd promised Lana director position, but every time it got pushed back. First next quarter, then after the board meeting, then once the company restructuring settled down. Meanwhile, Lana was already telling everyone about her big promotion. She'd even ordered new business cards she never got to use. "She's getting desperate," Will smirked. "Maxed out 3 credit cards just to keep up with Derek's lifestyle. Designer clothes, fancy dinners, weekend getaways. The penthouse? That came with a price tag. Derek made her pay her share of the bills." That didn't shock me. Lana always cared about image, even when we were together. What did catch me off guard? She'd borrowed money from Will last month to cover expenses. Promised to pay her back after the promotion. Will just rolled her eyes. "Yeah, right. I'm starting to think that's never happening." But the best intel came when Will dropped news about Derek's big charity gala next month. "Sounds fancy," I said, pretending not to care. "It's the social event of the season," Will said, eyes gleaming. "Derek's finally going to introduce Lana as his partner, both professionally and personally. He's even telling his wife they're separating right before the gala." "That sounds like a big deal," I said. "It's her moment?" "She's been planning for weeks," Will confirmed. "Bought a dress that costs more than my rent. This is her official debut into the life she's always wanted." I nodded, playing it thoughtful. "I'm happy for her." "Are you?" Will asked, narrowing her eyes. "After everything?" I shrugged, playing it cool. "Water under the bridge. We all move on, right?" Will studied me, then tilted her head. "You know, I could probably get you an invite as my +1. Bingo. Exactly what I'd been angling for. "Wouldn't that be awkward?" I asked, already knowing the answer. Will waved me off. "It shows how mature you are that you've moved on to bigger and better things." She glanced around my place, lingering on the 75-inch OLED TV and the framed vintage jersey that had cost me a small fortune. Besides, wouldn't it be so satisfying to let her see exactly what she gave up? I played it cool, pretending to mull it over. "I don't know." "Trust me," Will said, brushing my arm with those perfect nails. "It'd be perfect closure for both of you." "Closure, huh? That's exactly what I was after." I finally nodded. "But no way I'm dressing up like some footballer or anything. That chapter's done." Will laughed like I just cracked the funniest joke ever. Oh, Ren, you're way more than just soccer now. If only she knew how right she was. I hit up my soccer buddy Kai, the IT guy at Lana's firm, and asked if he could get me access to company servers. He hesitated. Dude, that's technically illegal. Yeah, I admitted it was. But I told him how those two had been messing with me for years and were still at it. I laid out my whole revenge plan: fake friendship with Will, intel gathering, the gala setup. Kai called it elaborate and asked if it was worth it. Maybe just move on. I tried, but Will kept coming back, trying to rope me in again. They needed to face consequences. He reluctantly agreed to help, but warned, after this, we're done. Clean break. This revenge, it's not good for you. I promised this was the last move, one final act of karmic justice. Operation Gold Digger is a terrible name, he added before hanging up. For the next few weeks, I played my part perfectly. The successful guy who'd moved on, the shiny new target for Will's schemes. I even mentioned a fake trip I was planning. I've been thinking, I told Will over drinks at my place the night before the gala. After tomorrow, maybe we could take a trip somewhere. Dubai, perhaps? Her eyes snapped wide the second I said Dubai, the same damn city where Lana bailed on me for Derek. Dubai, huh? Why not? I said cool, letting her think it over. I've got some business contacts there. Could turn it into a vacation. Luxury hotels, desert safaris. I let it hang, letting her imagination run wild. I'd love that, she stammered. Perfect. It's a plan, I said, smiling. After the gala, we'd make it happen. That night, she floated out the door like she was walking on clouds. I shot Kai a quick text. Everything set for tomorrow? His reply came back instantly. All systems go. Operation Gold Digger is ready to launch. I slept like a rock that night, dreams filled with soccer wins and sweet, sweet karma. The venue for Derek's charity gala? Pure overcompensation. The kind of place where the bathroom attendant checks your watch before handing you a towel. I rolled in fashionably late, Will draped on my arm. She was Hollywood glam. That dress looked like it needed its own insurance policy. Me? Kept it clean. Tailored black suit, crisp white shirt, the fake but solid watch, and one secret tucked away in my jacket pocket. Will clutched my arm like I was her jackpot. After you, I smiled as we stepped inside. Eyes turned immediately. Will was known in this crowd, but me? I was the plot twist nobody saw coming. Took about 3.7 seconds for Lana to lock eyes on us. She was across the room, hanging on Derek like a lifeline. A silver-haired dude trying way too hard to pass for someone in his 30s, but failing spectacularly. The look on Lana's face, worth every damn second I spent planning this moment. Shock, confusion, then the tiniest flicker of regret, or at least what looked like it. Will and I cruised through the room, stopping to chat with people she knew. She introduced me as her special friend, casually dropping hints about my massive success and exclusive investment gigs. By the time we hit Lana and Derek, half the room was buzzing about me. Lana and Derek exchanged air kisses with Will. "You remember Ren, right?" Will said with a smile. Lana looked like she'd just seen a ghost, a very sharp, ridiculously successful ghost. "Ren," she said, voice tight, "didn't expect to see you here." Will was quick to jump in. "Kind enough to invite me," I said with a smile, extending my hand toward Derek. "Derek, I've heard plenty about you. Your reputation definitely precedes you." "All good things, I hope," I added with a wink. "Absolutely," Derek said smoothly. "Lana talks a lot about your mentorship." Lana shot me a warning glance. I totally ignored it. Derek asked, "What line of work are you in these days?" Perfect setup. I launched into my carefully crafted spiel: software development, consulting, a few choice investments, dropping enough legit industry buzzwords to sound convincing while keeping things vague so no one could fact-check me on the spot. Actually, I added, I just closed a deal with Valtrex last week. Valtrex, the biggest competitor to Derek's company. Derek's smile snapped tight. I could tell he wasn't thrilled. Impressive, he muttered under his breath. If you'll excuse us, I need to make some introductions for Lana. As they walked away, I caught Lana whispering, "You didn't tell me he was coming." "I didn't know," Will hissed back. All night, I worked the room like I was born for it, had real talks with people who actually mattered, made Will feel like the queen of the night, and most importantly, I planted myself near the stage, right where Derek was set to drop his big announcement. Around 10 p.m., Derek raised his glass to grab attention. The room went silent. He grabbed the mic. "Thank you all for coming tonight," he began. "This event isn't just about charity, though we've raised a fantastic amount." Polite applause. "It's about new beginnings. I'd like to introduce someone very special." That was my cue. I slipped away from Will with a whispered bathroom excuse and made my way to the AV control booth, where Kai had already hooked me up with access. As Derek called Lana to the stage, I hit a button on my phone. The giant screen, meant to show the charity's logo, flickered and switched. Suddenly, it displayed a grid of text messages, very specific ones. From Lana to Will. "God, I can't wait to ditch this soccer loser once Derek's wife is out of the picture." From Will to Lana. "Just keep pretending for a few more months." Once the screen lit up with their messages, the whole room went quiet. Texts from Lana to Will, dripping with contempt. "Once I'm with Derek, hook me up with one of his rich friends. The idiot actually thinks I care about Liverpool. I just need him to cover rent until Derek makes his move." Will's replies. "His apartment's pathetic. All those soccer posters, like he's still a teenager." And it kept going, hour after hour, year after year. 3 years of mockery, scheming, and gold digging, all laid bare for everyone to see. Discussions about upgrading from me to Derek, plotting around Derek's wife, detailed plans to use connections once Lana made it. Then the recent stuff from the past month. "OMG, he's loaded now. New job, killer apartment, Audi. Are you serious? After I left? That's so unfair. I'm getting close to him, we'll report back. Don't even think about stealing him now that he's rich." "Why not? You dropped him. Besides, he's taking me to Dubai next week." "You're still in? After everything I told you about Dubai with Derek?" The gasps rippled through the room. Lana froze on stage, mouth hanging open in horror. Derek looked confused, then furious, spotting his wife's name popping up in the messages. Speaking of his wife, an elegant woman in the front row stood up, face twisted with rage. Will was scrambling, searching for me, then staring at the screen with dawning horror. I stood back, watching the whole scene play out like a perfect storm. The beauty of the plan? I didn't have to say a damn word. They'd done the dirty work themselves. All those texts were legit. Kai helped me pull them straight from the company servers. Messages sent during work hours, over years. Chaos exploded. Derek's wife stormed the stage. Lana tried to run, but tripped over her fancy dress. Will scrambled to explain herself, but no one was listening. I slipped out quietly, only stopping to hand the valet my rental watch with a fat tip. "Tough night?" he asked, eyeing the madness inside. "Best night I've had in years," I said, smiling. The fallout was glorious. Derek's wife filed for divorce the very next day. Turns out she'd suspected for years, but needed proof. That prenup? Void, thanks to the infidelity caught in those texts. She took him for everything. Lana? Fired. Her industry reputation shredded. Last I heard, she moved back home to work at her dad's insurance agency. Will? called me 47 times that night. I blocked her on the 48th. Later, she sent a handwritten apology letter. I used it to start my barbecue. I held on to the job, the apartment, and the car. Started seeing someone who actually gets soccer, no pretending. We met at a charity five-a-side tournament where I accidentally booted the ball right into her coffee. Turns out she was there scouting players for the youth team she coaches. Mia can name every starter from Liverpool's 2005 Champions League final like it's second nature. And trust me, she gets more heated over bad VAR calls than I ever did. Dating someone real is different. Mia doesn't fake it to impress me. She tells me straight up when my match breakdowns drag or when I'm acting extra over a referee's call. We watch every game together on the weekends. She's even schooling me on proper corner kick technique. Apparently, I've been doing it wrong my entire life. The takeaway? Don't fake loving something just to snag someone. Don't bail right before your value shoots up. And definitely don't mess with a guy who knows that soccer, like revenge, is all about patience, strategy, and striking at the perfect moment. Game over, ladies. Game over.